Everybody, it's your boy 800 Capone. Like I tell you, my mind, I'm interested in a lot of things. Some things I may have a tad bit understanding, some things I may have a little more understanding of. But I'm going to speak about it. Because, well, before I go on, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button, the share button. Be open-minded. Because, listen, I'm not a perfect individual. I may speak about some things, have an opinion on it tomorrow. Well, say I have an opinion on something Monday, I may feel different about it Thursday. But my topic today is Candace Owens and Ronald Martin. If you into the internet, you know who Ronald Martin is. He's shining some light on some things in reference to Candace Lewis. So I was going back and just reviewing some things, and it just had me thinking: does Candace Owens really have a thing against black people? I'm going to run some things that he pointed out about her. Like I said, I just got hip to her, and I just like how strong she is. She spoke intelligently. She seemed like a strong woman. But some things that he pointed out, it kind of makes me say, let's see what he has to say.
Policy. They don't care about the people. What they care about is denouncing black people in order to make white conservatives comfortable and then for them to be able to make money off of. Such as Candace Owens. Chris couldn't stand Candace Owens. We often talked about her and talked about how awful she was and how she was frankly illiterate to the issues and doesn't really give a damn about black folks. Now, she's recently going.
See, now this is a black woman. This is a black woman. I'm going to let him go on before.
She got fired from the Daily Wire. She claimed parting of ways. No, you got fired. And, she's been on various platforms. Go on here. And she accepts the invitation from the Joe Budden podcast. And then she goes on to the Breakfast Club. And she's talking to them. And then she's talking about how.
That's what I spoke on before as far as Candace Owens, I meant. Going on the Joe Budden's thing, it from what I'm seeing as far as what she brings to the table, I didn't understand that fit. But learning a little more from Ronald Martin, he pointing out some things, and I got to do a little more research. I don't want to condemn her, but I do have a strong opinion. About her. I'm going to let him finish.
How, this must be like my second or third invitation, and how I never got invited to these black platforms to talk about.
So she's speaking as blacks, don't fuck with her. But when I hear this, it made me like, why does she think that way? So I'm paying close attention to her now.
Other things, well, that's actually a lie. She was, and I'm going to get to that a little bit later. But the reason all of this is important, the reason this is important, is because what you see Candace desperately trying to, let's just say, come back to the neighborhood. You know, that person who you grew up with, and then they leave, and then all of a sudden you never see them again, and then they don't come back to any of the family events. They'll come back to the high school reunion. They'll come back to the church anniversary. Then all of a sudden,
he put her in that.
Then hop on back into our lives and go, no, I was loving y'all the entire time, even though the entire time what they were doing was trashing us and distancing themselves from us, and it's not like we actually care in terms of what she had to say. But the thing that was going on was Candace Owens was.
She moved to the suburbs. Now she trying to come. They don't want her in the suburbs no more, so she trying to come back on home. He's saying,
I really didn't care about her interview on Joe Budden's podcast or The Breakfast Club. Nothing against Joe, nothing against Envy or Charlamagne, or just hilarious. I just didn't give a damn about Candace because she's not bright. She's not the brightest bulb in the dark room. Until she posted this. A number of other people were ripping her to shreds, and again, I didn't care. But then I saw this, and I said, I felt like that Al Pacino character in The Godfather 3. Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. And so Candace posted this.
Yeah, this is what Candace supposed to posted that he pointed out. The most brutal smears I ever faced was the media attempt to convince black people, my own community, that I hated them. Now, this is a white woman that's married to a black. This is a black woman that's married to a white man with 4 children. 2, I think 2. I don't know how many. She had kids by a white man, right? That I hated them. Finally, Black America is recognizing that they were initially misled. See, first and foremost, the shit she on, I didn't see that Joe Budden's fit. Not saying that Joe Buttons can't hold a conversation like that. I just didn't see the fit. So I didn't think that was a good look for her. That's my opinion. You feel me? Now, it also says that it's thanks in a large part to the Breakfast Club interview and Joe Budden. Now, Charlamagne touched on her marriage to a white man. She spoke. This is something, I'm going to get back to this, but I'm going to point out to you. So therefore, if you go look back at it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
The most brutal smears I ever faced was the media thing before. Y'all remember this?
It ain't us, it's the media. It ain't us, it's the media.
See, but see that part right there. It's the media. It's the media. That was Candace Owens. The media. The media did all of that. The media was saying that I didn't like black people. It's the media's fault that I was being portrayed this way.
Look, and I know some of y'all are saying people like Ronald Martin, Candace Owens, black man, black woman, we all striving for the same goal, just to make things better for our people and the world itself. But reality is, it's not a nationality that doesn't think about they people first. You know, but they should be able to get together. Now, it doesn't always work like that because you black, y'all gonna get together and shit gonna work out. Y'all gonna see things the same. It doesn't work that way. Because he has a strong opinion about this woman and he really doesn't rock with her. And he's gonna show why he doesn't.
Way and now if I could just go talk to black media, black targeted media, and black owned media, and then now people can have a whole different view. And some Negroes out there, I see some of the comments like, oh my God, you know, I kind of agree with her, and you know, now I got a different view of her. It was the media. Okay? So Candace, was this the media when you appeared before Congress and talked about white nationalism?
My opening, and I will say it again, you know that white supremacy and white nationalism is ranks nowhere near the top of the issues that are facing Black America. And the reason that you are bringing them up in this room is because it is an attempt to make the election all about race as the Democrats.
Not in my case,
Please don't cut me off.
Please do not characterize my mode. Mr. Chairman, it's my time. It's my time. You got your time spent. I'll give you 3 more seconds.
Every 4 years, you bring up race, and you knew exactly what I meant when I said hilarious, and you just tried to do live what the media does all the time to Republicans, to our president, and to conservatives, which you tried to manipulate what I said to fit your narrative, okay? I was not referring to the subject matter that is hilarious. I said it's hilarious that we are sitting in this room today and I've got 2 doctors and a missus and nobody can give us real numbers that we can respond to so we can assess how big of a threat this is. Because you know that it is not as big of a threat as you are trying to make it out to be so that you can manipulate.
Y'all heard that again. It's the media. Okay. Was this the media?
But the real truth of the reason why people hate the Queen has nothing to do with the colonization, has nothing to do, which by the way, just to be clear, the Brits invading Africa actually represents, and this is going to get me in trouble, but it was, if you look at how forward it brought the African colonies, it ended up being a net positive. Now, this is, of course, it's going to get me in trouble because people somehow think that Africans were living happily ever after and things were great, and then horrible English, British descended upon and murdered everybody, and the French suddenly murdered everybody, and that just isn't the truth. Obviously, the African nations had slavery, just like the European nations had slavery. So it's an evil that was not started, did not begin in Europe, actually. It can actually be traced back to Muslim origin.
That's you talking. But it's the media. Was it the media when you talked to at CPAC, that racist conference in 2019?
First and foremost, stop selling us our own oppression. Stop taking away our self-confidence by telling us that we can't because of racism, because of slavery. I've never been a slave in this.
See, I kind of understand where she going. You know, they scream the racism and things of that nature. She feel like if we constantly hear that over and over and believe that, that's what's going to hinder us from growing. But she has to understand, I agree with her to a certain extent, but she got to understand, this shit is literally right in our face every day. It can't be ignored. Racism does exist. White privilege does exist. Like I said, she's a very intelligent woman. And I think she got a bright future in politics. But it's holes in her resume. And I'm going to point out one. This is my opinion. I'm going to go back to the Breakfast Club interview. The Breakfast Club interview, Charlamagne asked her reference to her relationship, her marriage, and dating a white man, and yada, yada, yada. So they asked in reference like, you ever dated a black man? She said yes, but she spent it so fast and said her first interest was, think Chinese, Korean men, whatever kind of men. So I'm thinking like, God damn, how can a black woman be raised in a household by a black woman, black man, black cousins, black friends, black school, and have no attraction towards a black man? I spoke about this to a friend of mine a long time ago, and it's something that I stand on. I believe when you step outside your race, you have an opinion of your own race. This the thing when I seen that he was speaking about this, it made me think about that. Like, damn, how can your first interest be a Korean man? How? I may have to do more research on her. I don't really know what her upbringing was, but if your first interest is a Korean man and you overlooking a black man, and a black man is clothing you, feeding you, teaching you and everything, something is wrong with that picture. That's the thing. That little thing right there make me question her. And I feel like if somebody go deep into that with her, she get chewed up.
Country. Stop telling us that we need to be obsessing over our past when we should be obsessing over our future and the potential that we have.
That was that was Candace talking at CPAC. That's right, that was her. Huh. How about this? Is this the media? You blame it, it's the media's fault when you on Dr. Phil.
Policies are harmful also to the people that they purport to help. And we have all of the evidence there to look at. When you artificially place a Black American into a school in which they do not belong based on their knowledge, doesn't mean that they go on to get A's. In fact, there was a Black adjunct professor, you guys have definitely heard of him, Dr. Candace Owens, who was teaching at Cornell University, and he found that the majority of the Black American students that were there were on academic probation. Now, these students were some of the smartest in the nation, but because they were artificially placed amongst their peers at Cornell University, they were failing on academic probation. These policies have never helped Black Americans. It's just basically policies that are put in place to make people feel good, right? I feel like I'm doing something when in fact I'm actually creating harm. You either know the answers or you don't.
That coming from a college dropout.
Told you, he don't fuck with Candace.
They're only here for the banana.
I'm giving you actual facts.
No, I'm giving you actual facts based on extensive research
just
that's
don't
been
feel
done.
good. But that's not the case. I mean, I went to university. I did not feel good, right? I didn't pull the best grades in high school. Probably got into a better university than I should have gotten into based on my performance in high school. It wasn't because of my feelings. It's because I wasn't focused on it. And that we're talking about a cultural problem, what's going on back at home, as was in my circumstance. None of that is because of institutionalized policy. It almost seems like you guys refuse to accept that, Black students aren't performing well. You feel like you have to have this burden of responsibility when in fact if you actually wanted to help, you would look at the facts, re-examine the fact that it's not helping anybody, it's not helping Black Americans to artificially place them into universities and make effective change.
But you're making the assumption that Black students are academically inferior. They're not.
No,
They're
you
some of
are
the most
actually.
brilliant students
That's
that
the
we have.
basic. That you are making the assumption that they're inferior.
You
It is
just said
why
they
you
don't
want
belong there.
policies. I'm talking about the students that are based on the policies that you are defending right now, saying that we should have these policies that let them into these universities, not based on their skill set, but based on the color of their skin. So you are assuming that they are inferior.
Again, she blames the media. It's the media's fault of all the.
Look, I'm gonna wrap that up, cause I don't have too much on Candace Owens, but I know he not rocking with her. And I know quite a few other people not rocking with her. But as far as, her not having a Black boyfriend for 5 years, 2 years, or whatever, I don't understand it. I gotta do some research on her. But she's a very smart young lady, and I come in peace. 800 Capone, I'm out. Hit that subscribe button. Give me your opinion, but I'm going to dig more into this. I definitely am.